better be careful how you talk about that one there, Dolores said. You know the devil got ears everywhere. Shut your scary ass up, D, Anthony chuckled. He just a nigga out here getting $1 like the rest of us, but you act like he's Count Dracula. One bloodsucker is as good as the next, Dolores mumbled, then dropped down onto the couch to get her works together. As she started to tie off her arm, there was a knock at the door. She looked around at the men in the room, but none of them seemed interested in answering it. Lazy motherfuckers. She got up and shambled toward the door, throwing Shay a dirty look. I keep telling you about having all this traffic in and out of my house. Dolores pressed her eye to the peephole. At first, she didn't see anything but darkness. Then came a blinding light. Shay had been standing against the wall near the entrance to the living room. She didn't like the way the boys playing the video games were looking at her, so she'd removed herself from their line of vision. She tapped her foot impatiently, wishing that Anthony would hurry up and finish his business. When Dolores passed her on the way to the front door, she got a whiff of the woman, who smelled like she hadn't washed her ass in a week. It was definitely time to go, and Shay was about to tell Anthony as much when she heard what sounded like a small explosion. Her eyes cut down the hall in time to see Dolores's brains leap from her head and paint the wall. The door shook once, twice, then burst open. Several men flooded the apartment, all holding guns with murder in their eyes. Trailing them was one of the largest, ugliest men Shay had ever laid eyes on, also armed. He had dark eyes that were slightly off-center and a flat nose like a boxer who had been punched one time too many. Battle scars marked his face, and his big black lips were dry, like he used sandpaper for chapstick. This man was truly hard to look at, but his most disturbing feature was his large, misshapen head. It reminded Shay of a jack-o'-lantern they'd decorated in school back in the day. Halloween had fallen on a Friday that year, so the pumpkin sat out in the classroom all weekend. When the kids came back to school on Monday, it had begun to rot and was collapsing on one side. The beast approached with slow, menacing steps. Shay backed up against the wall and thought she was about to piss herself when he placed one of his thick, dry fingers under her chin and forced her to look into his eyes. Those cold, dead eyes. His lips parted into a wicked grin, showing off a mouthful of yellowing teeth. When he spoke, his breath was so rancid that she threw up a little in her mouth. I wonder if you taste as good as you look, the man said in a voice that sounded like a car's motor. I... Don't flatter yourself, bitch. You ain't got enough meat on your bones for me. Get in there with the rest of them. He shoved her into the living room. The other armed men already had the living room on lockdown. Anthony, Vic, and the others sat wearing looks ranging from shock to fright. The beast pushed Shay onto the couch, and she landed between the two boys who had been playing video games. They all looked too terrified to speak, but Anthony eventually found his voice. Yo, monster, what the fuck is this? This is me coming to give you a royal decree. Your little establishment here falls outside the boundaries set by the monarchy, and by order of the King of 5 Points, all rogue operations are to be shut down immediately. Traitors to the crown will be dealt with. It sounded like Monster had been rehearsing these words all day. Big homie, what you talking about? Vic spoke up. We ain't betrayed no crown. This is all Christian shit we moving. Same arrangement we've been having in place since I came on board. What's this new shit? The system started at the top of the food chain. Ghost hitting Christian with product, which Christian would in turn distribute to dudes like Vic to move on the streets. As far as Vic knew, that hadn't changed with the new pecking order. New king, new rules, Monster said to Anthony with a shrug. The problem we have here is that your boss feels like he's exempt from the program. He got the memo, same as the rest of the generals who served under Ghost, but I guess he don't read so good. He thinks he's bigger than the monarchy, and I now find myself in the uncomfortable position of needing to remind him of how small he really is. Monster raised his pistol and shot Vic in the head, then turned back to Anthony.